Today begins Amazon Prime Day sales that will last through the 11th, and online sales are expected to be up 28% from a year ago. This is according to Adobe Analytics. This year, this sale lasts 4 days, and competitors are stepping up with their own sales. Online spending across U.S. retailers are expected to jump to more than $23 billion in the 96-hour Prime Day event. For more, we are joined by Megan Collifer, Senior Education Specialist for Golden One Credit Union in Fresno. Thanks so much, Megan, for joining us here. Let's just start off with the advice, because people see these sales and the average shopper thinks, how can I make the most of Prime Day deals?
And you're right. Prime Day deals are a great day to get some good deals, especially if you plan in advance for those deals. So make a budget, make a list, know what you need and how much you're willing to spend, because that can really help you resist some of the tempting deals that might not be on that list. So make sure you're really narrowing that focus, if you will, when you are making those purchases. And if it is on your list and you have budgeted for it, check with your financial institutions, because they might also be offering some perks this week. Golden One, for example, right now we're offering our members 25% cash back on Amazon purchases up to $100 during Amazon Prime Day week. So really good time to buy if it's on your list and you've made a budget for it.
Anything that people should know in terms of any big surprising discount items like laptops, TVs, tablets that we already know of?
Like I said, it's a great time, right? It's a great time to take advantage of those. But I do caution our buyers. Obviously, holiday sales, big events like Prime Day, they can be a great time to make a purchase and plan for that purchase in advance. But they can also convince you to buy some things just because they're on sale.
Yeah, impulse buyers.
Exactly. We call this spaving. It's when you spend money to save money down the line. And it really plays into that psychology of getting more value for less money, which can be really tempting. But you might not necessarily need that purchase, right? So make sure that you do have a plan in place before you hit purchase in that Amazon cart.
When you say plan, do you mean I'm only going to buy these items, or maybe I'm spending with cash so I can physically see, or my credit card versus debit card, anything like that?
Yeah, that's another good point. We want to avoid debt, right? Because if we're impulse buying and we do rack up those things, it can lead to some overspending, even unwanted clutter and waste, and increased debt, which I don't know about you, but those are definitely things that I don't want, right? In the long haul anyway. So yes, if you are one of those where you know that you might be tempted with some of those sales, maybe we do stay clear of the credit card and go with the debit card and only purchase things that we've actually planned and budgeted for.
Curious if there's any common pricing tricks that people should know about, maybe fake discounts that aren't really true discounts that people should stay clear of, because these deals can always be tempting, and I'm just curious if they're actually worth it. Are people better off waiting, until Cyber Monday or Black Friday?
I think it's always a good idea to shop around. Right? Make sure you're looking at more than one source to make sure that you are getting the best deal. But like I said, I think the biggest trick, especially when it comes to all sales, including holiday sales, is to make sure that it is something that you have planned to buy, not something that you are clicking buy on now because you see the big red sign that says sale.
Yeah, exactly. It could be a good thing for some. I know a lot of people have perks when they purchase. Sometimes there's travel points or cashback perks. Any advice for people that are using that responsibly?
Yeah, I would say that if you are one of those that are using those, you're using them responsibly. If you are looking at things that are maybe non-essential items, give yourself a chance to sleep on it, right? Wait 24 hours before that sale begins to decide if that item is really worth it. And if you still want the item after that time's up, then, maybe it is meant to be. And if you do that, then that type of strategy can really help curb some of those impulse buying and really ensure that your spending is aligning with your true needs and your desires.
This is all good advice, not just for Prime Day, but just spending in general, because I feel like a lot of people get swept up in over purchasing or impulse buying one too many times, at least for me. All right, Megan Collifer, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thank you.